Hope you guys are all keeping safe and healthy and doing what needs to be done to crush the old COVID thing as quickly as possible. I'm doing my part. I haven't had a haircut in a while. I'm not shaving, streaming here from home. But yeah, the purpose of the video really quickly here is to answer a couple questions. Of course, the background here is that we're in the middle of some unprecedented times. And of course, there's some severe risk here to our population in terms of health, but also the ramifications that are coming out of the world calling in sick is the economic and personal financial implications. And one of the major topics, of course, in the media these days, and coming right down to your own pocketbook, is the deferral of mortgage payments. And as you know by now, most all Canadian mortgage lenders are indeed offering the deferral of your mortgage payment from anywhere from 1 month to 6 months. This is not forgiveness of your mortgage payment. It is deferral of your mortgage payment. And if you've tried to do this firsthand, I'm sure you already know that the wait time to get your mortgage deferred or considered for deferral is unbelievable. We know that Canadian mortgage lenders are fielding tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, of requests for mortgage deferrals at this time. We're hearing about people waiting on hold for upwards of 8.5 hours. But people are doing what is necessary and what is available. And so a couple of the things that have been asked of me lately, just to stop for 1 second, if you don't know who I am, I'm a licensed mortgage broker in BC with Verico Paragon Mortgage. And a lot of folks have been asking me, clients, friends, everybody have been saying, number one, how much is it going to cost me effectively to defer my mortgage? And number two, should I do it at all? And so I'll start off with question number one, what's it going to cost? And the answer to that question is, it's a very complicated answer. I need to know several things from you in order to be able to make the calculation. And that would be, what's the balance of your mortgage? What was its original term? How far along are you in that term? What was the amortization of your mortgage, the overall lifespan of your mortgage, et cetera, et cetera. And so I have a couple of industry peers, guys with really big brains, who painstakingly unpacked this on a webinar not too long ago. And it took these guys 90 minutes to walk us through what would be an imaginary single Canadian. So that will be my caveat to you with the numbers I'm about to share with you, is this is an imaginary Canadian. It's just one single person. And for me to try and calculate this for you, please do not contact me. Please do not contact your mortgage broker. If you want the answer, my advice to you at this time is to get it straight from the horse's mouth. Contact your lender if you're requesting the deferral and ask them to provide you with an estimate or a calculation for the cost of that deferral. I'm hoping that we may soon be in a position to offer an estimate, working on some form of a spreadsheet where we can give you some broad strokes as to what that would cost. But let me share with you the approximate cost, using some broad strokes here, using this imaginary Canadian. So you are the imaginary Canadian, and you took out a mortgage a year ago on April 1st, 2019. And your mortgage balance on April 1st, 2020 is $100,000. And you took out a 5-year fixed rate, closed at 2.95%. And you have a 25-year amortization. So your approximate monthly mortgage payment, approximately $475 per month. So if you were to successfully get your mortgage deferred for 6 months on April the 1st, 2020, the approximate interest cost of deferring those 6 months of payments, the interest on interest, et cetera, the effective net cost is about $175. And people will say, well, that's interest on interest. And of course, that is the case. $175 is $175. But the purpose of the exercise, the gift that is being given to Canadians in the form of mortgage deferral, is that you are pocketing that over $2,800 in mortgage payments for the next 6 months between now and Thanksgiving. You got $2,800 in your jeans to buy groceries or whatever the main priority is for you at this time. And the other thing to keep in mind with the calculation of the effective cost of deferring your mortgage is that it varies by lender as to how you're going to repay those deferred payments. And this varies by lender. So let's just say, for example, you're 1 year into the imaginary Canadian. They're 1 year into their mortgage and their balance is $100,000. So if we defer for 6 months, we're then 1.5 years into the term, the first 5-year term of the mortgage. And we've got also, not only do we have 3.5 years remaining on that term, we also then have 23.5 years remaining on the overall amortization or the overall life of that mortgage. Some mortgage lenders are going to say you can defer for 6 months, but we're going to want you to make up those deferred payments between now and the end of the term, the 5-year term. So again, approximate math. If you're going to defer those payments, the imaginary Canadian, and you have to repay those principal and interest payments for the remaining 3.5 years, the approximate increase in your monthly payment will be about $70 to $75. That'll be an increase in your payment amount so that by the end of that 5-year term, you will be square again, approximate. If you are so lucky that your mortgage lender will allow you to amortize that deferral over the ensuing 23.5 years, over the remainder of the life of the mortgage, the approximate cost will be $5 per month. So there you have it. And it is interest on interest, and that is what it is. But I will just point this out to you. Maybe I'll leave this to the end. What I'm going to say is it is interest on interest, but it is the lowest interest available to you as a Canadian consumer, period. Because if you've got the cash, should you be deferring those mortgage payments? And I'll get to that in a second. But if you don't have the cash, what are your alternatives other than your savings, your accumulated savings and your investments, presuming you want to be selling those at a loss at this time? The alternatives are your home equity line of credit, which were only up until recently meaningfully higher rates than your mortgage rate. And by the way, as I mentioned in a video, I don't know, 1 or 2 weekends ago, it's a blur now, they have the power to change your HELOC rate. And the same goes for the rate on a personal unsecured line of credit, which is already going to be an even more meaningfully higher rate than your mortgage rate. And of course, the other alternative is your credit card, your Visa at what, 19, 20% interest, your Bay card at what, 30% interest? My point being, this is the cheapest debt you can incur in your world as a Canadian consumer. So in a sense, I say this carefully, this is a bit of a gift from Canadian mortgage lenders to keep those principal and interest payments in your pocket for what you need for the next 6 months. Because here's the alternative. This morning, I spoke to a friend of mine in Chicago who is a loan officer or a mortgage broker in Illinois. And in the US, there are several mortgage lenders down there who are doing deferrals like we're talking about, and it can either be made square at the end of the term or over the life of the mortgage. But a lot of them are doing what's called mortgage forbearance, which looks like this. We will give you 3 months off. Don't make a mortgage payment to us for April or May or June. But on July 1st, you owe us July 1st payment and the 3 payments that you missed. So for the imaginary Canadian, you're not going to pay your $475 a month on April 1st, May 1st, or June 1st, but on July 1st, you owe us $1,900. So I say all that to give you some perspective. And of course, the next question globally is, should I defer my mortgage payments? And only you know that. It's not going to be for me to say that. All I can say that if your financial distress is genuine, by all means, hop on the phone, get on hold, send the email, and wait, and get in line and ask for those deferrals. I will share some insight with you for those of you who have not already ask for and hopefully receive the deferral is they are prioritizing. I can think of one lender who is prioritizing the requests on two parameters. Number one, how soon is your next mortgage payment? Like if it's April the 4th and your next mortgage payment is on April the 8th as opposed to May 1st, you move up in the queue, notwithstanding your wait in the line. I'm just saying the way that they triage you once you get on the phone with these people. And factor number two is how dire are your financial consequences? So keep that in mind. And, you know, we are so lucky based on what I've just sort of compared for you with US lenders. We're so lucky as Canadians to have been given the opportunity to defer in such stressful and unprecedented times. And so I say to you, in the spirit of other mortgage brokers, please be Canadian. Please hold open the door for those people who do need the deferral. If you think you can hang on for one more month and you're thinking about friends or relatives in your world who cannot, can you please wait 30 days before you pick up the phone? And so that's all I have for you. I will part in saying that if you are looking for a broad stroke, and if I am able to provide you with a broad stroke in the near future here, if someone in our industry or our firm is working on a deferral cost calculator, if that's something that interests you, please send me a DM or please say, yes, please, in the comments here. And I'll reach out to you if and when we're able to come up with something that can reasonably accurately estimate the cost, the effective cost of deferring your mortgage payment. But for now, I say $175 to this average imaginary Canadian is $175, but they've got $2,800 in their pocket for the next 6 months for God knows what. So that's all I've got for now, folks. Again, stay healthy, stay safe, stay positive, think critically, act responsibly, exude and try to feel positivity. That's all we can control at this time. Cheers.